Hey, good morning. I am. I've been thinking about wanting to put words on some feelings, some thoughts in the last few days. And I am hoping, I am hoping that it will come out in a way that feels good for me to convey and also for you to listen to. I do feel quite like in reverence, if that's the right word. I feel like touched. Maybe I feel in love with my experience, maybe my young self. The fact that I get to have certain experiences with people, the love that I am so lucky to have at this point in my life. I know also there is something in me that's like anger and unfairness, injustice. It's connected to powerlessness, I think. I do want to speak on that. I do not. I hope that that's not going to be the energy of the recording, though. Where to start? I listened to, so today it's December 31st. It's New Year's Eve, the last day of 2024. I was listening to a podcast by Rachel Brayton, maybe? Yoga Girl on Instagram. I was listening to that yesterday, half of it. It's closing 2024 and setting intentions for 2025, or not setting intentions necessarily, but becoming clear on what you want, what you don't want. And I really wanted the ritual, and I wanted to do it with someone. I didn't want to do it by myself this year. Because I felt like listening to her would help me really listen to me. And one of the things that I've been thinking about after doing half this practice, looking back at what I learned in 2024, what I'm grieving from 2024, and I'm realizing how proud I am of myself, how I'm the strongest person I know in so many ways. And I'm not saying that to make others less, or other people are not strong. It's like a recognition of myself. And what I'm doing with these videos, and I don't know what people think or how people understand what I'm doing, that maybe people feel like it's just a bunch of feelings and I clearly have no control over myself, like just putting all of this on the table. And and I was thinking, how I don't share after the fact, when I could have written a neatly wrapped up post about what I've learned. Lessons. Do this, don't do that. Advice here, not advice for that, you know? I could have done that. Sometimes I do. I think most of the time I am sometimes less than before. Sometimes I'm in the middle of processing something and I don't know up from down. Like, if you've seen me throughout the years, you know that sometimes I'm like that. And it's just a mess. Which is part of being human, right? Sometimes I've gotten enough clarity to be able to talk about, okay, I think this is what's going on, and I'm kind of like mentally like putting things into order and like gaining insights, and I'm talking myself through. Usually those videos I'm still not seeing things, and I will have like vulnerability hangover, some people call it. I will have like shame in the days after, when I realize, oh wow, I said that. Not so like, I don't know what to say. That was a bit like not fully thought through in a way. I could have been more seeing all sides and being more something, you know? But I am getting to know myself. I am figuring out who I am. I am figuring out what life is. I am figuring out how to navigate life in a way that feels good and right for me. I am questioning when people say, well, like, it is like this. We have to do it like that. I'm questioning so many of those things. Like, I don't know what I don't question. All the questioning, though, it brings me back to, this is what I believe based on my experience, and it's in this moment, it's for now. I know it can change. Like, I'm in many ways letting people have a front row seat to, this is what it means to find awareness with yourself, within yourself. And sometimes people text me or say in like a conversation that, oh, I thought you had no problem being angry because they've read my posts or seen my videos and I'm expressing so freely. Or people are like, oh wow, like if I was just as unafraid as you, I would also do what you're doing. As if I am not scared. As if I have an easy relationship to being angry. Like, I don't. I think maybe people don't recognize what it takes from me. Sometimes, I don't know, maybe I have some strength that makes me able to handle it better than other people. I don't know, but it doesn't mean it's not difficult. It doesn't mean it takes me a whole lot to record something. Doesn't mean when I've put it out, like, also not knowing, like, I don't know, I've come to, at some point on my journey, I've come to this, I will, because I'm finding myself, and when I'm finding myself, I'm like, I'll fucking protect myself. Not protect, I will defend myself. I will stand by myself. It doesn't matter what comes at me. Doesn't mean that when something comes at me, I will not be affected. I will not be thrown off. I will not spiral down into some questioning my whole fucking existence. Doesn't mean that. But I will still put myself out there. I will own who I am and what I find. And it's like this beautiful balance of being like, I will defend myself to the ends of the earth. Having that attitude, I will not let anyone fucking mess with any of who I am. Like those young parts of me, those young versions of me, fucking no one will get them. At the same time, having the awareness that it's an interplay between me and them, and I'm, as the adult in the relationship, I am learning how to be an adult. I don't know all the time. So I might defend them from a really fierce standpoint and either get feedback, or when I'm spiraling and going through that process, I will get some information from within myself that will make me adjust my stance on something. Like my stance on how I defended myself, or what I believe, or something, you know. So the fierceness along with the enough humbleness, maybe, it's to be able to sit in that feeling of, I really went out strong with that one. I really went all out. And here are some consequences, like I hurt that person, or I said that thing, or I don't mean that anymore. And to sit in that, and to own that, and to apologize if that's necessary, to be able to say I was wrong, or I see information now that I didn't see back then. God, that's so humbling. It makes me think, because when I do that, when I'm in that position, it's for me, it's often a mix of, it depends on how clear I am in myself, I guess. Sometimes I might be like very much at peace with myself and the mistakes I've made. And if people, when I apologize, if I get like shamed or judged, or I'll get some spikes, you know, thrown at me, I'll be like, yeah, that's a valid reaction for them to have. That's alright. Other times I might be dealing with like residue, like shame. Other parts are not on board, like things I've still yet to see. And people might throw spikes and I might have a really hard time with that because it triggers me. I remember one of the two professors at the gym, my university gym, and man, this professor, he was judgmental. I once asked him what he thought about The Alchemist, like the books of Paulo Coelho, and he's just like, rubbish. That's what I put in my, I have that on my bottom shelf for quasi spiritual truth. Like, he was so judgmental about that. That's something he would use an example for something bad with his students. And this professor, his daughter is the kind of daughter who is super sensitive, the kind that plays ukulele and dresses in Pikachu costumes. Like, he got that kid. If it's not 60s rock, it's shit. He hates it. And he said once that one thing that's really important is to create an environment where you're not shamed when coming to terms with, oh, I was wrong about this thing. And like, I can't believe he said that, given how I know him. But it's so true though. Man, that if sometimes, wow, I have so many thoughts about this. Because I'm thinking, if we could all just help walk each other home. Like, I was just writing a post about this yesterday and today, about how we, as practitioners, but as just normal people who tries to help other people as well, how we fuck up. And I was thinking about after I came home from the completion process training in 2016, and I was like, I'm having some completion processes and these are abused memories. Uh-oh, not good. And I was trying to make sense of things, and I was struggling. I've said probably 1,000 times before how difficult those years that followed, how difficult they were. The level of denial, the level of gaslighting myself, the level of confusion, going back and forth between denial and confusion. Having moments of fucking just breaking down and being in like, I don't even know what to call it. I had those moments most often with my ex, where I would make a joke about something related to incest, and I would laugh, and then he would be like, look at me, like, are you okay? And I would just be hit with feelings, and I would be bawling. I would cry my eyes out. So I had that going for a few years, and I would be in so much agony and I would reach out for help in groups with therapists and practitioners, and I would get this advice: just talk to the part who's in denial, just talk to the part who doesn't want to see the truth, just channel that part, just as if channeling that one part that doesn't want to believe. It's so stupid and oversimplified, and it doesn't really show the level of understanding you need to work with that kind of trauma. Looking at me, looking at the time on the camera, it being 22. So we have that going. I'm just, the two last therapy sessions I had, and this is with a practitioner. I worked with him for, what he said, has it been 2 years in our last session? I'm not sure if it's been 2, but it's been at least 1. Regular sessions. And I don't know what I think I'm just sad. I think I'm just sad because I am loved. I am loved more and more by myself, but my practitioner is modeling to me love in such a beautiful way, and I have someone in my life also, and he loves me in a way I have not been loved before. I think most people go an entire lifetime and they never experience a love like that. And I'm thinking how fucking lucky I am for those experiences. Like often I feel like, wow, I'm struggling to get the things I want in this life. But then I also have these experiences, I get to have those. How is it possible that I get to taste that, to feel that? And I feel so incredibly lucky. But it also, I don't know what it touches in me. I don't know why it makes me so emotional. I don't know if it's necessary to understand even. I'm getting now to the first point on my my list here. In the last, because there's something about corrective experiences in therapy, and how, like, safety is not something that happens overnight. In my last session, my practitioner said all the work we've done prior was for this. Where we're at now in this session, this is it. And imagine that, a whole year, if not more, of regular sessions, weekly or bi-weekly, to be able to let in to those really deep places where I trust him enough to give him something that's so vulnerable, and he shows up and he takes that and he does the right thing. It's one thing when you're born and you just trust. That's your default. You just trust, you just love. And then hopefully that's met, right? But then it's not hard to trust, it's not hard to love. I think you just do, as I said, by default. But then if you have a whole life, a whole upbringing of that being mistreated in whatever painful, ugly, in whatever bad way, right? So now you have learned to distrust, you have learned the pain. So trusting now, like opening up to trusting someone after that, it's like an act of will. It's because you do it knowing how bad it can be if it doesn't go right. You don't have that the first time around. Which I guess is why people say, like, kids, they love in a way that when you're a parent, like, I didn't know love could be like this, so unconditional. That's what we do as kids. We just lean in. And it's so, like, in the last session, I explored two different places in myself. Like the first place, or first part, I came into this place and I described it as an attic. No one's been up there. It's like at my grandparents' house, or at some grandparents' house where they have like old stuff from when they're kids, so my parents were young, like they have that kind of stuff in the attic, and no one's been there, and it's like the dust is like has settled, and it smells just like how it smells when you've closed the door for such a long time. You can smell the dust, you know, that there's been no wind. It's like the stillness. And I felt like I was in that place. And then it's interesting because I was trying to put words on it to my practitioner, and he said, "Oh, it's almost like it's dead." And I was like, "No, it's not the right word at all. It's like it's just like treasures that is like memories. It's like it's a whole life in there that's been untouched. Untouched is a good word. And I had this feeling of it's just waiting. It's like an attic that's like small, like crawl in space, with a window at the end, and it's just waiting for the window to be open and for the sun, like the summer sun, to like come through the window, and the whole room felt golden, like sun golden, warm golden. And it's just, it felt like a place that I don't ever want to leave. And it's so special when he is with me in that, and he is present, and he's sitting there and he's listening to me, and he is just there, and I am getting the experience of being witnessed, like explored, like there's someone there wanting to understand and get to know. Like I am my own being. I am my own being. And it's so, I don't know how to explain this, when I like the magnitude of what it means when I'm saying that. Because maybe you'll be like, of course, your own, you're your own being. Like, I don't understand. But it's like the difference. If I imagine being with my parents, and I'm in touch with my feelings, this is my truth. I'm sad now, right? I'm emotional. I'm thoughtful. I'm in connection with this attic space. That's a real space. It's in my inner world, you know. And my parents wouldn't see that. They wouldn't be able to be in that attic with me. They won't be able to see that I'm in that space either. But he is. So then it makes sense when he says to me, or I don't know if he said, but like, I think he said, I will not take, because I got scared that he would exploit me, and he said, your energy is your own. I'm not here to take your energy. Your sexual energy is safe. I'm not here to take your sexual energy. Your life energy, it's yours. I'm not here to take it. It's yours. And to feel that he can see me and he doesn't want to hurt me, and he loves me, and he is there for me. I'm just waiting a second because my neighbor was leaving. it's and he and it was like being in that space, and I had so much stuff come up as we were just sitting with that, and I had distrust come up, suspiciousness. I was like waiting for the axe to fall, not being able to I get not that's the wrong word to say. Like I could feel myself like being on alert, no? Like I can't relax, because if I relax, surely something bad will happen. And I told him, like, I can't. I'm tensed up. He said, that's perfect. Be tense. You will be tense. You will be. This is the corrective experience for you. Which it was. And he said, next time it happens, you will also be tense. You will also be suspicious. It's not like, oh, because I was here once and I didn't hurt you once, you're good. Like it doesn't work that way. It's repeat trauma. It's repeat unlearning. Which is if I'm going back to that time, like 2016 and the years after, when I was struggling so much and I was asking people how to get out of this agony, and people were like, just channel the part that doesn't want to see what happened to you, just channel the part that's in denial. I'm thinking, what do I really want to say about that? Because in a way, maybe it had to play out the way it played out. Because my level of awareness, it was where it was. But I mean, I think it's different going in and going out. So when I'm coming with all this pain and I'm so like, get me out of this pain, like that's super important to me in this moment, get me out of this fucking agony, I'm hurting. And I believe that this clarity will bring me all the relief I need. So if you run with that, if you as the helper or the practitioner is just like jump on the help train, then you're not, it's different compared to being like, okay, I'm here, and really be like, I'm here, and you're in a lot of pain right now, yeah? And it will probably take some time to even settle into like a bigger space where you're like, oh, I have all these things inside me, all these things. To connect to some sense of, okay, we're here. Like, breathe. Tell me what's going on. And to this dance between, okay, they're going in, they're absorbed, and kind of like being like, okay, can you come back? That was a lot. Okay, we're here, we're okay. Because my practitioner once said, it's all just inside you. And not meant as like a minimization. You know when people say like, just drop it, just let it go. In this moment you're whole, you're okay, you're loved. I fucking hate that so many times, but I can also like make sense in a way too. Man, this is such a nuanced thing. Because for some time I was not able to, it's almost like you need a certain level of being able to hold yourself to feel that. And until you get there, I think you're just drowning and trying to resolve yourself from all kinds of weird intentions. It's a struggle bus, but it also gets you moving somewhere. So at some point, like, you will have these clicks after clicks after clicks, and at some point you will be like, oh, okay, all of this stuff that's happening inside me, that's inside me, and I have now enough sense of self, I have enough sense of I'm allowed to be treated, maybe allowed is not the right word, but I know what it feels like to be treated with love. I know what it feels like when someone has my back. I know what it feels like when someone will not hurt me. So I know what I can, I know that that's something I can have. I'm losing myself now. I think when you get to that place or that level, it can make sense to drop it, because you can have a sense of, I know what I deserve, I know what I will accept or not accept, and it's not as much about me engaging with or drowning in. Engaging is probably not the right word, but I don't know how to say this. It's something about being here in the now with each other. So let's say you and me. And it's okay that I have this stuff that's part of me. So you will be here for me. I have also the capability to be there for myself. I feel like I'm not making sense. Maybe I am. Maybe I am. It's a lot of, when people come to us for help, it's a lot of jumping on the fixing train. And I'm not saying to not help where help is needed. That's not it. But to establish, like, okay, we're here. I got you. I'll help you. Like, I'm present. Are you present? And letting the other person come back to, like, okay, they're also here. Okay, so let's figure this out together, yeah? I'm now at 44. So the alignment is unbelievable today. That's nice. Oh wait, is it Capricorn full moon today? I think maybe it is. And I'm a Capricorn, so it's perfect. My birthday is really soon. Yeah, I'm looking at my list. I've talked about the addict. That was the first thing on my list. And last thing on my list was long-term therapy. And I have 3 things in between. The first one is it's so interesting after that last session. And I'm feeling like when the session started to settle, I feel like something's closed in a good way. Like I've been really reflecting on or thinking about I feel so good to hold here. It feels so nice. I've been really thinking about where I put my energy. Hate that way of phrasing it. I will explain what I mean. I long lived pattern, this one, living for others, not for myself. So it's always in my childhood, it was always because no one saw me, right? So it's always, how can I make them be okay? Because if I make them okay, I have a hope of being okay. So it's always whatever I can do for them. It's always my energy out. It's always that's my whole modus operandi. That's the word. That's my whole setup. That's what I know. That's the foundation. That's my baseline. That's it. That's how I function. So I don't question, because this is just how it is. So in these last few days, and I'm thinking, like, I'm seeing in my mind's eye as I'm thinking about that, I'm going through, like, people I text, like relationships I'm in, people I engage with, and I'm seeing that, and I'm asking myself at the same time, like, why am I engaging? Is it for me? Is it for them? Like, what's my motivation for doing this? And I'm coming to this my current thought, which is, I'm doing it to uphold peace, same as in my childhood. I'm just like, it's like they want something from me, they want something from me, they want something from me, they want something from me. I have no concept of it's okay to say no. I can say no. Like, I can say no. It's not a concept. It's not in my awareness. It's wild, but like, it's coming in, but in many ways on a really deep level, it's not in my awareness. So I don't have, like, an automatic, like, thought of, do I want this? What do I actually want? It's not in my head at all whatsoever. So someone texts me and I'm just like, how can I make time for that message to get back to them properly and give them everything they need? That's my thinking. It's not conscious thinking, obviously. And I'm looking at these dynamics, these interactions, and I'm just like, what am I doing? What am I doing? And then when I start thinking about that, I get this. So this is one of the things I'm not done thinking about. And then when I think about it, I have this feeling of, oh, but if I don't, oh, but I like that person. I don't want to lose that person. Oh, but should I tell them I don't want to talk to them? And I get scared, I think. And I come to the question, what's life about? Was if I'm cutting these things, these people, these interactions out of my life, because it's not really what I want, that interaction. Not because I don't like it, not because I don't love them, like none of that necessarily could be, but cannot be. But it's more about what's filling me up. What's an experience that if someone put this in front of me and asked, like, do you want this? And I would be like, oh, oh my God, yes. There's nothing I would like more than like 2 hours in the spa part of the place and the massage and really like some warm steamy place to just sit and relax and feel all my cells open in my being and just have some herbs in this water that's on the oven and like it makes me thirsty to think about that. It's like it makes me feel, it's interesting because it makes me feel pleasure. It turns me on, which is the case. It makes me hungry, like yeah, I want that. That was some energy. So if these things I'm engaging with, if they are not that, I don't think I want it. For now. That's my that's my current thinking. Have 7 fucking minutes to wrap this up because I know the recording stops at 1 hour and I'm 53 minutes. So I'm really thinking about what do I want to invite into my life? What do I want to have? I want to take these things and have them in my life and nourish them because I like them and I want this to be a part of my experience, my life. There's a lot of noise. Yeah. So in relation to that, I'm then having some, like when I'm going through these people interactions, whatever, and I'm thinking, no, I don't really want to. And then I have a whole lot of reactions to that. And I'm like, why? Because there's this attempt, I think there's an attempt to make myself okay with it. There has to be something I can fix within myself to be okay with it. When what really feels better, when I'm struggling with this, I've been struggling with this since this morning. So if I imagine my young self, 4 or 5, small, and she's talking to me and she's like, so I'm seeing her with my mom and I'm also kind of like there where I'm observing them at least, and my mom will be like, she would not be okay with the young version of me being like, but I don't want to. It'd be like, no, you should. And you just go, and you will feel better when you get there. And then if I go and some parts of it is fun, then I will be told afterwards, see, I told you. Of course it was fun. I'm thinking about what more my mom would say. What if you, are you just you can't just, what do you want to do? Go sit in your room by yourself? Like, you will have no friends. So it will be all this shit put on her. So now she's scared. She's scared now because all these consequences are coming. And when I'm seeing that, and there's one part of me, or one reaction in me that's like, but I wonder why she doesn't want to go. And that is like that, I genuinely wonder why. But at the same time, I'm like, well, something else feels better. And why shouldn't that be okay? Why shouldn't that be okay? Because it's going to be like, I don't have all the same concerns. I have more solutions than my mother, you know. So I'm like, I'm not really seeing the problem, and if there is a problem, we'll solve it. But for now, there isn't a problem. She just wants to do something else. Something else makes her feel better. It nourishes her. Maybe she wants to sit by herself in her room and draw. That was me as a kid. Or organize some stuff. Because that was also me as a kid. And how different it would have been if that version of me just, if I like got down on her level and I was like, okay, you don't want to, that's okay. I will probably have a conversation to figure out like what's going on inside you. I probably would, but at the same time, it's like, you know, then we do something else, and that's okay. You're not going to be friendless for the rest of your life. It's okay. Like, and I think I would have that conversation because there are things to teach a kid. Like, if she had a play date with someone, then I would probably explain to her, like, okay, we'll call your friend and tell her that you can't come, and maybe we can set up another play date if you want that. Maybe it turns out it's just in this moment she doesn't want to, or maybe she doesn't like that person anymore as a friend. Like, who knows? But yeah, I'm coming so close to 60 minutes. Oh. Yeah. So that's that. We'll have to talk about being disempowered also, but I will save that for another time. And I will probably write about this as well. My post is a bit more angry than this though. because of the disempowerment. I'll see if I can write that out.